So more than a year ago, in June 2018, I held up this banner. If folks can help me here. Let me get the other side. This banner right here that represents the contract for the Hutto Detention Center, the intergovernmental service agreement that Williamson County had. So I held up this banner and ripped it apart after the Williamson County Commissioners voted to end this contract. There were hundreds of people outside that packed the courtroom demanding that vote. And so indeed, they followed the will of the people of Williamson County. And finally, after more than a decade of fighting to end this place, they ended their contract with the facility. But when the county's contract ended in January of 2019, the Hutto Detention Center did not shut down. Instead, ICE announced a temporary contract extension directly with CoreCivic to continue operating this facility. Grassroots leadership has requested documentation of this new contract and how it was created from ICE under the Freedom of Information Act, but ICE has refused to produce these documents. We have also submitted open records requests to Williamson County and the City of Taylor, who responded that they did not have a copy of the new contract or any information about how it was created, despite the fact that the Taylor Police Department currently has a memorandum of understanding for security services at the facility. So 8 months after the former contract ended, here we are, and the hundreds of community members who gathered outside of the Williamson County Commissioner's Court to end these abuses happening at Hutto have no transparency as to how this place is still open. Legal experts have no answers as to how ICE was able to create a new contract without going through the federal procurement process, which involves a publicly posted competitive bidding process, which did not happen. The women who have been sexually assaulted, separated from their families, forced to work for $1 a day while detained at Hutto, and the 512 women still detained there have no accountability for ICE and CoreCivic's inhumanities. There are 2 other detention centers where ICE has recently entered into direct contracts with private prison companies after local governments cut their contracts, citing exemptions to the normal procurement process. This practice risks further institutionalizing a system where immigrant detention centers can be created in non-transparent, unaccountable ways that oppose local community wishes and subvert federal procurement law. At Hutto, ICE has not even published their rationale for the contract extension. We have nothing more than a quote from ICE, from their spokesperson, to corroborate the existence of a contract. And ICE's lies have now been publicly and repeatedly exposed. So we're here to ask the question today, why is Hutto still open? ICE and CoreCivic cannot be allowed to continue to operate this facility with complete impunity. We're here to turn the tables and demand that this time ICE show us their papers. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Sulma Franco, who is continuing to visit women at Hutto and also coordinates a group of women who are formerly detained who are fighting to shut down Hutto.